Hello guys, today we are reacting to MSA and let's start it, I guess. Go.
Hi, I'm Zara and this is my story. Please.
Why is it animation? I've never saw this, but why is it an animation? I hate animation, but it's for you. So, go on, Zara.
Like and subscribe. I was born in a small town in Lebanon to parents who were literally God's angels.
How? God's angels? Am I sleeping? Can you pinch me? Let me pinch myself. Okay. I'm not sleeping. God's angels. Okay. And this bouncy noise is because of the rain. Do not mind that. So let's go on.
Both of them were doctors who worked with a charity organization and treated most patients for free. So obviously we weren't rich, but we were happy. My parents' kindness rubbed off on me too, and even as a small kid, I couldn't see anyone miserable. But soon after I turned 14, my whole life changed. My parents had gone to Syria as part of a medical team, and a few days later, they were reported missing. As search teams still looked for them, I was sent to live with my aunt and cousin in Turkey. Aunt Rabia was extremely wealthy, and
Extremely wealthy to get money flying on her head.
she lived in a huge mansion with her daughter Amel. Aunt welcomed me warmly and showed me around the house. There were beautiful decorative items in every corner. Oh wow, this vase is so pretty. That's Amel's choice. We bought it in Paris last year. You've seen the Eiffel Tower? I've heard it's gorgeous. I suddenly stumbled backwards and knocked the vase off the table, and it shattered into pieces. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's all right. I'll just call someone to clean up the mess, and we'll see the rest of the house later, okay? Gosh, why was I so clumsy? At dinner, I tried to be extra careful not to drop anything, and Aunt noticed my nervousness. Are you still thinking about those faces? Don't worry about it. But just in case Amel says something, don't take it too seriously, okay? What do you mean? Well, her heart's in the right place, but she just has, a different way of expressing her feelings. Just know that we're both very happy to have you here. I wasn't quite sure what Aunt meant, and I was quite curious.
What kind of name is Ahmad? Amel? Let's see the pronouns.
To meet this mysterious Amel now.
Oh, Amel. Okay, you demon.
Aunt had to leave when she had an important call during dinner, and as I cleared up the plates, a group of laughing girls barged in. One of them spotted me and said, "Hey, you, go get something to drink for me and my friends." This girl must be Amel. "Hi, I'm Zara, and I didn't ask for your name, did I? Just go get me a Coke and an iced tea and a coffee. You know where the kitchen is, right?" I nodded and returned soon with the girls' drinks, and no one even said thank you, which felt odd to me. Just then, one of Amel's friends accidentally knocked over her glass, spilling her drink on the table. Amel snapped her fingers at me, and I wiped up the mess and left. Later, as I was watching TV in the lounge, Amel walked.
Why watch MSA when you are a character from MSA? You dumb hoe.
Alone, and she suddenly looked livid. I know you're new, but are you crazy? You're a maid here, not a guest. Actually, I'm not the maid. I'm your cousin, Zara. Amel looked taken aback. So, why were you acting like a maid before? I wasn't. You just asked me for something, so I did it. But why? Are you some kind of moron who just does everything she's told? No, but you're my cousin, and I didn't mind helping you out. She just stared at my face, then started laughing and walked off. One day, Aunt was telling me about how she'd started her skincare company alone, and now it was $1 million business.
How can a 14-year-old child get $1 million company? I'm starting to be I'm just kidding, but it's making my brain feel dizzy. And why does it say I'm too kind? I don't know.
I was really impressed. I want to take my brand global, and I'm looking for someone to model the new range. But you're so gorgeous yourself, Aunt. You should be the face of your products. Jeez. Yeah, she's letting you stay in her home, but there's no need to be such a suck-up. No, I'm serious. Aunt is stunning, and you take after her, you know. As if. I guess Mom hasn't told you her little secret yet. And suddenly, she leapt forward and grabbed Aunt's hair. I thought she was going to hurt her, but then Aunt Rabia's hair came off. It was a wig, and she was completely bald. Aunt looked really embarrassed, and I was shocked beyond words. But Amel just laughed and walked off singing, "Mom is a baldy, Mom is a baldy." Aunt quickly tried to put her wig back on, but I stopped her. Amel shouldn't have done that. But Aunt, you're stunning even without your wig. Oh, Zara, you don't have to say that. I lost all my hair due to alopecia a year ago, and I know I look like a freak. No, you don't. You look strong and beautiful, like a superhero straight out of a Marvel movie. It really suits you. You really think so? Absolutely. I started school soon, and I felt a little out of place, but...
What do you mean I felt a little out of place? I don't know. The next one is my crush loves to watch me sleep. This other one, let me show you. This video is the next one. Where is this orange thing? This one. That is the next one.
I decided I'd just focus on my studies. One day, I was having lunch outside in the schoolyard when a football came flying out of nowhere and hit a young boy playing close to me.
Okay, she's gonna help him, I know, because this says I'm too kind.
Knocking him down. I immediately helped him to his feet, then took him to the bathroom and got him cleaned up. Are you feeling okay? Yeah, I'm fine. But wait, my iPod. I can't find it. It must have fallen down somewhere. Don't worry, I'll help you look. We both went back to look for it, but when I found it, it was completely smashed, like someone had stepped on it. The boy was about to burst into tears, and I quickly said, "Hey, don't cry. Okay, how about I give you mine?" Really? Is your mom gonna be okay with that? Yeah, I'm pretty sure my mom won't mind. There, it's all yours. Thank you so much. You're awesome. Suddenly, someone behind me spoke. Wow, awesome indeed. I turned around to see a tall, handsome boy holding a football. I'm sorry, that was my
What is the thing? It's called handsome. And on the other videos I saw on MSA, they've been kissing for every second of a minute. I don't get why they show kissing in every kind of channel. Except Talk Twins. And Kayla's, she's acting like a bisexual. A girl.
Ball that hit him. Kicked it a little too hard. I think you should be saying sorry to him, not me. But the little boy was already skipping away with my iPod. I guess I owe you an iPod. Why'd you give yours away anyway? Because it's just an iPod, and look how happy he is. He was about to say something when suddenly Amel appeared and threw her arms around his neck. There you are, babe. I see you've already met my cousin. And Zara, this is my fiancé, Murat. Oh, you two are cousins? Yes. Remember I told you about the orphan cousin from Libya that we took in? You know how big-hearted Mom is. It's Lebanon, and I'm not an orphan. My parents will be back soon. But yes, my aunt is generous and amazing. And with that, I walked away. A few days later, Aunt was hosting a dinner for Murat and his parents. Everything seemed to be going smoothly. But when the soufflés were served, they had sunk in, and Amel called for the cook. Did you expect me and my guests to have this soup for dessert? I know you're not the brightest, but how stupid do you have to be to mess it up? Amel, that's enough, honey. You can go now. I felt furious. I wanted to tell Amel off so badly, but I didn't want to create a scene. Later that evening, as we all sat in the living room, Murat suddenly turned to me and said, I've noticed that you're always wearing this big watch. It seems too heavy for your wrist. Oh, yeah, it's my dad's. Mom gave it to him for his birthday, and, well, I've just borrowed it till they get back home. Zara, could you please not talk about your parents? It's just uncomfortable. It's not uncomfortable for me to talk about them. Yes, but it makes other people feel weird. No one wants to talk about depressing stuff. I felt angry tears stinging my eyes, and I quickly excused myself and went out to the garden. I found the poor cook crying outside, and I consoled her as best as I could. As she walked away, I turned to find Marat behind me. Your cook seemed really upset. Maybe Amel was a bit harsh, but I guess you have to deal with servants a certain way. A certain way? The only way to deal with anyone is with respect. Yes, but she made a mistake, and Amel had to tell her. Not in front of everyone, and not like that. And the cook is only human. Her son is really unwell, and she's worried. And even then...
Her son, who is she? Who is her son? Her son. Oh, that would be a pretty good name. Her son. Her son, but Herson. Herson. Okay, let's go on.
She prepared a whole feast for us. Do you know everything about all the servants? I do talk to them, don't you? Sure, to give instructions, but nothing about their personal lives. They live in your house and serve you every day, and you don't care to know anything about them? Wait, are you saying I'm arrogant? Well, yes. Yes, I am. I started walking away, but suddenly, he gently grabbed my wrist. Amel shouldn't have said that about your parents. I'm sorry, and I'm sure they'll be found soon. Me too, and thank you. And then I left. The next evening, when I went to the kitchen, the cook seemed to be in a really good mood, and she told me that Marat had offered to fully pay for her son's treatment. I guess he wasn't so bad after all. A few weeks later, I was walking out of a cafe in town when I walked straight into someone. Marat. A small velvet box fell at my feet, and we both quickly bent down to pick it up, and ended up bumping our heads really hard. Then we both burst out laughing and sat down on a bench. I just picked out a ring for Amel. You know, we have our engagement party in 2 weeks. What do you think? He opened the box to reveal a diamond ring. I'm sure she'll love it. But I asked what you think. It's lovely. I'm just the wrong person to ask about diamonds. Well, what kind of ring would you want if you were getting married? I've never thought about it, and I haven't thought about marriage either. But if it ever happens, I just hope I'm as happy as my parents. And they've never had anything fancy, so I don't think that stuff matters. Marat looked at me with a strange expression, and for some reason, it made my heart flutter. You're nothing like your cousin, Zara. In fact, you're unlike any girl I know. Just then, a few raindrops fell on us, and Marat said he'd drive me home. Nope, I'm walking. It'll be fun. But you'll get wet. Exactly. When was the last time you walked in the rain, Marat? Never. That's just sad. It won't kill you, I promise. I started walking, and he joined me. And then it started raining really hard, and he took off his jacket and put it over my head as we ran for cover, laughing like kids. When it slowed down a bit, Marat walked me home, and I asked him if he'd like to come in and see Amel. No, I should be heading home. But thank you, Zara. I haven't laughed this much in ages. You're something else. He smiled, and my heart was fluttering again. I went in, trying to push away.
What is fluttering? And I think she doesn't want Marat kind of name.
That stupid feeling. But just as I was about to walk into my room, someone pushed me hard. It was Amel. What were you doing with Marat, you witch? Hey, can you calm down? We just bumped into each other and he walked me home. Oh, wait a second. Is that Marat's jacket you're wearing? Suddenly, I realized that he draped it around my shoulders, and I'd forgotten to return it. Look, it started raining, and he was just being nice. Listen to me loud and clear, Zara. He's my fiancé, and I don't want you hanging out with him. I didn't plan it, Amel. I'll just stay away from him. You don't need to feel so insecure. Suddenly she pounced at me and snatched the jacket away. Why would you make me feel insecure? You're just a poor orphan living on our charity. Someone like him would never even think about someone like you. And neither would I. But if you call me a poor orphan one more time, Amel, I might just punch your face. And with that, I pushed her out of my room and slammed the door shut. I was getting sick of her. After that, I completely avoided Murad in school or any time he visited Amel at home. He was her fiancé, and it was best for me to stay away from him. The engagement party was being hosted by Aunt, and the whole house was buzzing with excitement. But just as they were about to exchange rings, Murad suddenly stopped and looked up at her. Amel, I can't do this. I can't get engaged to you. What? What do you mean? I'm really sorry. I tried, but I just can't convince myself to go through with this. It isn't fair to us both. What are you talking about, Murad? I'm in love with someone else, and it's not you. I'm sorry. Murad left the room, and everyone just stood there, speechless with shock. Amel burst into tears and ran off to her room. What had just happened? Aunt Rabia looked really upset. An hour later, when I went up to my room, I was shocked to see that the whole place was trashed, and Amel was standing in a corner, holding Dad's watch. Amel, have you lost your mind? And what are you doing with my watch? I was waiting for you to come so I could show you. And with that, she put my watch on a table and smashed it with a hammer. Oh my God, no! What did you do? That was my dad's. How could you? Well, I don't think he's coming back for it. And suddenly, I snapped. I leapt forward and grabbed her hair, and we broke into a huge fight. Moments later, Aunt walked in and pulled us apart. What's gotten into you two? She stole my fiancé. She's a snake, Mom. I don't know what you're talking about, you psycho. Aunt took Amel away, and I climbed into my bed and cried for what seemed like hours. The next day, Aunt came.
I'm so stressed about myself, not talking all of these meanings. But I pray for God for this to not be a copyright, for me not talking on all these minutes. Cause one day I copyrighted the Superbooks movie, and then that video got cancelled from being uploaded. So please, I pray for God for this to not be a copyright.
Into my room with a really serious face. Zara, I'm sending you away to live with my cousin in another city, and you'll be attending school there. I'll pay for everything, of course. I stared at her face, feeling a bit heartbroken. I loved my aunt, and I didn't want to be away from her. I wish you would believe me that this isn't my fault, Aunt Rabia. I do believe you, but I have to take care of my daughter, and I don't think it's a good idea for you two to be around each other. I hope you'll understand. I left to stay with Aunt's cousin the next day. I missed her a lot, but her cousin was kind too, and I soon settled into my new school and tried to forget about my life before. But I never gave up hope that my parents would be found one day. I worked hard for a scholarship and got into a good university. One day, as I was walking out of university, a gust of wind suddenly blew some papers out of my hand, and as I ran after them, I tripped and was about to fall face forward when someone caught me. I got you, and your papers too. I looked up in complete shock. It was Murad. What are you doing here? Obviously looking for...
What kind of face is that? Let me draw it for you. A big munchy face here, some eyes, hair, a little bit of a neck, shoulder. This is this guy. See? A bunch of mostly. What kind of face does that?
For you. But why, Murad? You don't know how difficult you made things for me. I know, and I'm really sorry. When I found out you left, I knew there was no use coming after you, because you'd never make your aunt or Amel unhappy. And I went away myself, trying to forget you, but I just couldn't. You somehow changed me, Zara. I don't want to just settle for something ordinary anymore. I want to be with someone who makes me happy, who makes me better. I'm in love with you. Maybe since the first time I met you. It was the sweetest thing I'd ever heard, and my eyes welled up. I never really stopped thinking about you either, Murad. But I don't think we can be together. My aunt would be convinced that I broke you and Amel up, and she'd hate me. That's another reason why I'm here. Your aunt's been sick for a while, and I think she'd really like to see you. There's something she wants to tell you. I immediately dropped everything and went to see Aunt Rabia, and I was shocked to find her so weak. Why didn't you tell me you were sick, Aunt? Who's been taking care of you? Where's Amel? Amel got married to a rich, much older guy some months ago, and she left. She hasn't visited me since. Well, I'm here now. Aunt tearfully took my hands. My darling Zara, I'm sorry that I ever sent you away from me. I was angry then, but I don't blame Murad for falling for you. You're the best person I know, and you have my blessing to be with him. You deserve every bit of happiness. I hugged Aunt tight.
This is gonna make me cry. Let me get my tears away.
And then she said something that shook my world. There's something else, but I had to be absolutely sure before I could tell you. I got a call from an agency in Syria that had been trying to reach you. Zara, your parents have been found. I spoke to them myself, and they're flying in tomorrow. I just couldn't stop the tears from flowing. It sounded unbelievable, but I'd never, ever lost hope. I left Aunt to rest and found Murad waiting outside. You knew about my parents? I did, but I had to let your aunt be the one to tell you. I can't wait to see them again and introduce them to you. I'm so happy for you, Zara. It looks like it's gonna rain. Let's go for a walk, shall we? I'd really love that.
Yes, this one. I want this.
Hi, I'm Jisha from India. Please like and subscribe. I lived in a...
What kind of name are these? First Zara and this Jisha. Jisharas. Oh, I talked my real language. Forget that.
Small fishing town with my adoring parents. My dad was a sailor and my mom was a homemaker. But when I was 10, our world suddenly came crashing down when we got the news that Dad's ship had been caught in a storm and he was missing. We waited for months to get good news, but none came. Mom needed a job, so we moved to another town where she started working as a housekeeper in a rich household. We were given a small room in the mansion. On our first day, I wandered into the huge gardens when suddenly I heard a loud scream. Help me! I'm gonna fall and crack my butt! I saw a pair of legs dangling from a tree. I spotted a...
Let me back it up for me to show her name. Now, what kind of name is this? This and then this. What kind of name is this? Let me circle it. Send me a voicemail at... I will be making it at the title, or I'll just figure out something to tell you my email, and then you will send me a voice email with which how you pronounce this name correct, Jisha. And please do it. And if you are agreeing to do this, send me your email too. And I swear that I'm not a hacker. If you think this email thing is for me to hack your email.
Saw a pair of legs dangling from a tree. I spotted a small trampoline and pushed it under the tree. And seconds later, a girl my age fell on it. Whoa,
what?
Did you put this here? Yeah, I didn't want you to crack your butt. I mean, we all have cracked...
Yes, this kind of names are the things that annoy me. cracked butts, and then little bit back, and then
oh, did you put this here? Yeah, I
again crack your butt.
didn't want you to crack your butt. I mean, we all have cracked butts, but I didn't want you to crack it more. We both burst out laughing, and just then, Mrs. Chopra, the owner of the mansion, walked out. Mom, this girl just saved my life. I was about to fall from the tree and she... How many times have I told you not to climb trees, Pooja? Anyway, thank you, Jisha. Hopefully my daughter can learn to behave more responsibly from you. Now come on, go play inside. Come, Jisha. I'll show you my latest Barbie.
No, this girl thinks this is the second thing that annoys me. Barbie is for girls. Why is there something smelly here? Oh, I forgot to take out the fish. Okay. But okay.
Collection. Pooja's room was super pretty and had a huge...
Let me show you something again.
Latest Barbie collection. Pooja's room was...
And on the email thing, I want you to send how to pronounce this thing called Pooja. Let's go again.
Super pretty and had a huge cupboard full of collectible Barbies.
What?
We played for hours, and when I was leaving, Pooja shoved the prettiest Barbie into my hands. You can take this. What? No, it's yours. Yes, but now I want you to have it. I thanked Pooja and walked away happily. That evening after dinner, I was playing with my Barbie when Pooja and her mom marched in. Mom, look! Didn't I tell you Jisha stole my Barbie? What? I suddenly felt guilty of something I hadn't even done. But, ma'am, she gave me this Barbie. She said it was a gift. Are you saying I'm lying? I would remember if I gave that doll to you. Stop crying, Pooja. Jisha did save you today, so think of it as a gift, okay? If you say so, Mom. You know how much I like sharing my stuff. Mrs. Chopra left, and suddenly Pooja turned towards me with a smug smile. Why did you lie? 'Cause I didn't like it when Mom said you were more responsible than me? Gosh, this girl was crazy. But I had to put up with her because of our situation. Mrs. Chopra was a nice woman who treated Mom and me kindly. One day, I was reading my science encyclopedia.
No, those words that I do not know is going on this channel. What is this? And on the email thing. Okay.
In the kitchen.
On the email thing. Let me back up. Where is the thing? What is this called? Encyclopedia. On the email thing, please send me a voice email again for 3 words and pronounce it. I will put it on the title or the thumbnail, but okay, we're gonna go again. Okay.
Day, I was reading my science encyclopedia in the kitchen when she walked in. She started asking me a few questions, and I answered them all correctly. This impressed Mrs. Chopra so much that she got me enrolled into Pooja's school. I was thrilled. That year, I studied my butt off and got straight A's. I even bagged first prize for my science project.
What? From evil, stupid to good, smart, intelligent. How? Wow. Okay.
Which was to be displayed in our school's annual day function. I'm very proud of you, Jisha. Oh, this reminds me. I've been invited to a science fair. Would you like to attend it too? That sounds amazing. But Mom, you promised to take me to the movies. That can wait, honey. You can join Jisha and me if you wish. I'd rather lick a doggy's butt. Besides, I'm a Jerk is my favorite movie, and I want to watch it today.
What kind of thing? Oh, the lights went out. I need to go outside before I start it. And please do not forget those 3 words that I told you. Let me go out and please wait. Oh, this light thing is the thing that makes me want to crack my butt, like this thing on the first minute or something. Let me go outside.
But Mrs. Chopra ignored her, and we both went to the fair, where we had tons of fun. I had no idea Mrs. Chopra was a bit of a science geek like me. When we got home that day, I was shocked to find my project smashed to pieces. I knew it was Pooja, but she blamed their pet cat for it. Thankfully, Mrs. Chopra helped me build it from scratch. And over the summer vacations, she took me to science museums all over the city, which didn't sit well with Pooja. One day, I was baking some brownies when I heard her yelling. I turned off the oven and went to her room to find chocolate smeared all over the furniture. Clean this right now. My friends are coming over in a couple of hours. How is there chocolate everywhere? Less talking, more working. Chop chop. Pooja laughed and I got bit.
And another thing, how to pronounce choppy choppy? Chop chop, I think. How to pronounce that on the email field. So let's go.
Cleaning the mess when suddenly I heard screams from the kitchen. I rushed to find the oven on fire, and it was spreading fast. Mom, Jisha did this. I saw her baking something, but I remember turning the oven off. Apparently not. Looks like you're trying to get us all killed. Thankfully, the fire brigade arrived in time, but the whole kitchen was destroyed. Mom couldn't stop apologizing to Mrs. Chopra for what happened, and I got such a scolding. That evening, I was sulking in the garden when Pooja walked up to me. This is what you get for trying to act too smart in front of Mom. So it was you. I was sure I'd turned off the oven. Yeah, but you can't prove it. Are you insane? The fire could have spread. Someone could have gotten hurt.
Let me pause it and get this rain to stop, and then we'll watch again. Okay, we'll continue.
As if I care. This girl was a psycho. Years passed, and in 12th grade, I started getting a lot of attention from boys, but I was only focused on my studies. Pooja, on the other hand, was dating a politician's son, who was the biggest bully in school. One day, I was walking back home with groceries when suddenly a car whizzed past me so closely that I fell down. You butthead, watch where you're going. The car stopped and a well-dressed guy stepped out. Are you hurt? Here, take this money and get yourself checked in a hospital. I took the money from him and threw it right in his face. You can keep your money. Learn some manners instead. The guy muttered something that sounded...
The light got up and went off in 1 millisecond.
Like ungrateful brat and just left in his car. What a jerk. But moments later, I was shocked to see the same guy parked at the mansion, and Mrs. Chopra was hugging the jerk guy. That's when I got to know he was Arjun, Mrs. Chopra's son, who'd gone abroad for studies. She looked extremely happy to have him back, and I didn't want to create any dramas.
And again, what is that face? The thing I see. On the 10th minute, we're gonna pause it because I don't have enough percent and the light went off. So, on the 10th minute, this is gonna be part 1. So, okay.
So I just avoided Arjun. Then one day, I went to Pooja's room to hand over her laundry when someone walked out of the bathroom. It was Arjun, in a towel. He looked like a Greek god. I'm sorry. You? What are you doing here? Have you been stalking me? Who do you think you are, Tom Cruise? You've got some nerve talking to me like that standing in my house. Well, Mr. Snob, I live here too. And that's when I told him who I was and left. Later that night, I was helping Mom in the kitchen when Arjun walked in. He thanked Mom for the meal and said it was the best biryani he'd ever had. I was surprised to see him being so nice, and Mom was blushing like a teenager. Oh, what a well-behaved boy. There aren't many kids like him these days. Oh, please. He's a big a jerk as his sister. That weekend, Pooja threw a homecoming party for Arjun. I was serving drinks when suddenly I tripped on something and all the glasses came crashing down. Are you blind or stupid? Do you know how expensive these glasses were? They cost your mom's entire year's salary. I'm sorry, it was an accident. I immediately started cleaning the mess, but a piece of glass cut my finger. Ew! Get lost before your bloodstains are expensive marble floor. I could feel all eyes on me and I felt like crying. Suddenly, someone took my hand gently. Let me see. It's just a minor cut. Come on, I'll put a Band-Aid on it. Arjun led me to his room and he carefully bandaged my wound. Does it hurt? Not as much as your sister's words. I apologize on her behalf. She's a little, temperamental. Mental is more like it. Arjun laughed out loud, and for some reason, it made me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. Maybe he wasn't as bad as I thought. He was kind to all the staff members, and once I saw him chatting with Mom, wiping the dishes that she was washing. He'd also hang out with me often, and this made Pooja go crazy with rage. You witch,
My cousin is following my mom's TikTok account right now. This Rebecca thing, started following you on TikTok. That is my cousin's TikTok account. This thing is going crazy. Okay, let me
know what you're up to. Stay away from my brother, or else? Or else what?
15.
It's not like I'm chasing him around or something.
To be... I'll make it 15 to be part 1. 15? Okay. It could be all of this. Okay.
He prefers my company over yours. I can't help it. Pooja looked ready to kill, but I wasn't going to let her bully me for no reason. A few days later, I was coming back from school after our last exam when a car suddenly stopped by me. It was Arjun, and he offered me a ride home. But just a few minutes later, we got stuck in the worst traffic jam. I was so tired that I fell asleep, and when I woke up, we were already home. Good morning, sleepyhead. I'm sorry. You should be, after the way you've been snoring. It was louder than an airplane taking off. What? I don't snore. You do. And you sleep with your mouth open. No, I don't. I have proof. He took out his phone and showed a terrible picture of me. Delete that right now. I was trying to snatch the phone from him when suddenly my hair got entangled in his shirt's button. Our faces were so close that I could hear his heartbeat. Arjun carefully freed my hair. There you go. And don't worry, I'll delete it, even though you look super cute in this picture. I mumbled an awkward thank you and rushed inside. Was Arjun flirting with me? A few days later, he asked me out, and I couldn't refuse because I was already crushing on him. We snuck out at 4 a.m., and he took me to his secret spot where we watched the most magical sunrise. Then he kissed me, and it was like a dream.
Look, see that I said kissing or something? Can you stop talking?
No, stop. Ethiopia. Yeah, with mom. I am dangerous mom. I am beautiful girl, dangerous mom, and
Ugly. Huh?
voice. Your body. No, I'm Ethiopia. I'm a family. No.
Okay, my mom is talking on my native language. This is not my real language.
Diamond mom, okay?
Can you stop talking?
That sounds good. I'm left by
That evening, I made dinner for everyone since Mom had gone to the farmer's market. But when she didn't return after hours, I started getting worried. Just then, Pooja barged into my room. Waiting for your mom, huh? Wonder when she'll be back. Suddenly, I felt fear in my stomach. What are you up to, Pooja? Where's my mom? Now you know what it feels like when someone tries to snatch away the people you love. First, you cast your spell on Mom, and now Arjun. What are you saying? I'm gonna tell Mrs. Chopra about this. If you walk out of this room, you'll never see your mom again. Please, Pooja, I'll do whatever you say. Just don't hurt Mom. Then pack your bags and leave. Your mom will be here in 10 minutes. And don't you dare tell anyone about this, or I swear you'll regret it. The madness in Pooja's eyes scared me. I started throwing our things in our bags, and sure enough, Mom was back soon. But there were bruises on her legs. Oh my God, Mom, what happened? Oh, I was coming back from the market when a biker crashed into me. Thankfully, Pooja's boyfriend was there to help me. He even took me to the hospital, God bless him. Save your blessings for someone else. He was probably the one who hired that biker. I told Mom everything, and she said we had to speak to Mrs. Chopra. Mom, we have no proof. And Pooja is her daughter after all. She won't believe these things about her. No, the only thing we can do is leave. I can't risk you getting hurt. We left the mansion that night without telling anyone. We moved to a big city in another state where Mom started working as a seamstress, and I took up a babysitting job. Based on my high school results, I got into a good medical university and poured my heart into my studies to become a doctor. 5 years later, I was working as an intern at a hospital when an emergency patient got admitted. It was Pooja, and she looked heavily pregnant. Minutes later,
Please.
Okay, let's
she
see.
gave birth to a healthy baby girl. But when she saw me, she looked stunned and burst into tears. Jisha, I'm so sorry. I guess I got what I deserved. I tried to ruin your life, and today, my life's a mess. And then she told me how she'd run away from home with her boyfriend, who got her pregnant and then dumped her. I've been living in a homeless shelter for the past 6 months. I'm too ashamed to go back home. Shh, everything will be okay. I'll talk to Mrs. Chopra. I'm sure she'll forgive her daughter. You don't understand. She's not my birth mom. I was her maid's daughter. My own mom ran away with a guy, leaving me behind. So Mom adopted me. That's why I felt so insecure around you. You were smarter, prettier. I feared Mom would start loving you more, and then she'd abandon me too. I was shocked to hear that. Pooja's blood pressure started going up, so I gave her an injection to relax. As Pooja slept, I called Mrs. Chopra. In a few hours, she was at the hospital with Arjun. He looked as handsome as ever. Mrs. Chopra teared up as I showed her the baby. Just then, Pooja started waking up, and I decided to leave the family alone for a while. A few hours later, I came to check Pooja's vitals and left. As I was about to enter another patient's room, someone grabbed my hand. Thank you for everything. It's all right. After you left, I was about to call the police when Pooja told us everything. I was furious at her. I tried looking for you, but you changed numbers, and no one knew where you'd gone. I got really scared. After Dad, Mom was all I had left, and I couldn't let anything happen to her. I understand. Are you, dating anyone? No. Are you? No. There was an awkward silence. Okay, then. How about we start where we left off? And where was that? Let me remind you.
Okay, guys, this is our reaction for today. So, bye, and we'll be 44 hours. Not hours, minutes. Bye bye. And do not forget the email field. I will put it on the title.